2011, you found your agency, and when you go to this first conference, you must be incredibly self-assured or bold because you're walking up to authors and you're saying, "I've got a new agency and I want you." How does that go?
Right. Well, it wasn't walking up. I was seated, and they were coming to me, which is, it's kind of like the speed dating where you do like an 8-minute pitch. So I just had people come to me, sit down, and when you're a new agent, you really have to sell yourself and you have to sell the agency. And I think at that point, I was really just very, and still am, very excited and passionate about finding some good people, some good stories, and making some book deals. And sometimes you find people that you resonate with. They resonate with your personality and your frequency that you're on, and it just it works. And I don't know, there's also, I guess, if you believe that you can do something and you have, you can back it up with, like, you've had some experience and you've done the research, you just do it. Just do it. So I wouldn't say that I was bold or anything, but I was confident in my abilities. That's it. Not just confident.
That's the proof is in the pudding, as they say. Here we are, 11 years later, and you've got a thriving literary agency. I know that the literary agents I've had on here in the past have said that on average, you're looking at between 3 to 5 years before you can expect to start making money as a literary agent. Yeah. I don't know if that's different when it's your agency and
it's still the same
on the door, or.
Yeah, I think, I can't remember exactly how long it took, but it was probably like between 2.5 years. Yeah,
that's accelerated.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, when you're any new agent, it's kind of like failure's not an option, and you work until you get it done. You know what I mean? Like, that's just kind of the mindset that I had, that I have always had, that I got from my family, my parents. Just, set your goal and achieve it. Failure's not an option. So that's just kind of how I am as a person. So I was able, you know what I mean? And so at that, like, I originally had maybe 5 clients. It's like, okay, I only have 5 clients. I have to make 5. I can't, like, fail with one of these. You know what I mean? Like, or otherwise I'm not achieving what I set out, and no one's going to want to work with me if I can't sell these 5. So, I was very motivated to sell my clients, which I did. So it was kind of like out of necessity.
And are you to the point now, 11 years later, that you could sell some others not, or is it still they're all getting sold?
Yeah, I got lucky that in the beginning, but I mean, any agent will tell you you're not going to sell everything, because it's really a crazy business, right? Like, work on commission, and you're trying to sell something, but it relies on a lot of other things. A lot of people have to say yes. You have to find the editor. That editor's acquisition board has to agree. Their sales and marketing has to agree. Like, a lot of different people have to say yes before. I say, honestly, it's a wonder how anything ever gets published, because it's like magic happens, like the stars align just so, and then it's like, yes. But yeah, I mean, I'm still selling things, but there's always, one that you're like, God, I couldn't sell it, but I always try my hardest. I will pitch something till there's no one else to pitch it to, till I feel confident that I have done everything that I possibly can. I have shared this with every editor that on this planet that wants to read this, and they've all said no. I'm sorry, but you know what I mean? Like, I will exhaust all possibilities so that I feel good about my efforts. I will never, there's never a situation where it's like, I sent it out to 5 people. They said no. So, like, that's not enough. But, it happens. Not happy.
When you're working that hard for your authors, I assume you expect that you can't be the only one working that hard. You want your authors to be meeting their deadlines and coming in, and failure is not an option for them either. Is that fair?
I try to tone it down a little bit when also I was married to a Marine, so that didn't help my attitude of being successful, you know what I mean, like very like success oriented like environment. But I don't think I'm like that with my clients. I mean, I'm supportive and helpful, and I don't any writer is going to do what they need to do to get their book sold. Like you know what I mean? Like, it's not just like, this is a hard thing. This is this is joy and passion, and it's fun. Like, you've written this book and you want to share it with the world, and it's exciting. And you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of like happiness and fun around being an agent for me, and selling books, and being able to call my client and say, hey, I got this book deal. What do you want to do? Or going to a bookstore and seeing my clients' books. Like, that always makes me super happy. Like, never gets old. Always good. Whenever I go to any bookstore, I always check to see who's there, take pictures. Sometimes I'll post them. Sometimes I'll just send it to them, say, hey, saw your book at, with this bookstore or whatever. But yeah, I mean, I've never had any issues with clients like not doing what they need to do, which is just write, revise, and if something isn't turned in when it's supposed to be, like I have so many, I have other things I need to be doing that I can usually say, okay, take 2 more weeks, because I would rather something be done right and turned in late than done wrong and turned in on time. That doesn't help anybody.
So I assume the writer in that position where they know they're going to need another 2 weeks, so long as they're communicating with you, letting you know what's going on, that's going to be all right.
Yeah. Yeah. Those types of deadlines are more self-imposed. The only time a deadline there's a problem is if they've got a book deal and their editor is saying, okay, this book is due at this time. But even then, sometimes I can go to an editor and say, this writer has had a family emergency, or something has happened, or this has just been a little more challenging. Can they get 2 more weeks? And they'll check on. And sometimes there is room in the editorial or the publishing schedule to do so. Sometimes there's not. Maybe sometimes they'll say, sure, 2 weeks is fine, and sometimes they'll say, we can do 4 days, or we can do a week, or something like that.
Gotcha. So you start off with 5 clients. How many clients do you represent now?
I can't say offhand, but I think it's probably like maybe 20, between 25 and 30. I'm not sure.
Is that a pretty comfortable, stable, the right word? Stable of authors? Okay.
Stable or roster. Yeah, I always do what's right for me. When I can take on more, I do. If I can't, then I stop. Occasionally you'll see I'm close to submissions, and that's because either I need a break and I just want to focus on what I have, or I've got enough. But I always I'm the boss, so I'm not going to make myself do more than I can, you know what I mean? But I will push myself to do, like, if I find like I'm slacking off or something, which I don't really do, you know what I mean? Then I can take on a few more clients, but it always has to be like what I'm comfortable with, because I want to make sure that I have enough time, because I'm very editorial. So I want to make sure I have time to work with each client in a timely fashion, work on their edits and pitch and things like that. So